Hello guys. So we have discussed the other day about excuse me, about the properties, the atomic properties and periodic properties that we have discussed, physical properties especially. Now today we are talking about the chemical properties. So when I say chemical properties, how a chemical reaction is happening. Now remember this, chemical properties meaning there is always some amount of electronic change, or electrons will be moving from one atom to another atom, or electrons could be lost or could be gained, could be anything. Okay, so chemical change meaning there should be change in the composition of chemistry, that is chemical composition. Okay, so now first, chemical properties. In the alkali metals we have various chemical properties to be dealt. The first one is reaction with air. Now air, we know that we have studied in our very lower classes also, that air is a mixture of many gases. Yes or no? So we have that air, we have nitrogen, oxygen, then we have carbon dioxide, argon, helium, neon, various amounts of different gases. So out of all these gases, which one is reacting with the alkali metal and how they are reacting? That we will be studying about the first one. Then second one is reaction with water. Okay, so how the metals are reacting with water. We know what it will be forming in 9th standard. I think you have done this properties. Okay, just a second. Alright, so reaction with water. So how the metals will be reacting with water, even the moisture, గాల్లో ఉన్న మాయిశ్చర్ కూడా చాలు కెమికల్ రియాక్షన్ జరగడానికి with these metals, so much reactive, and we'll see how they react and what are the products. And then reaction with non-metals, same non-metals, various things we have nitrogen is a non-metal, which that is the above one. Let me So in case of non-metals, we will be confining ourselves to the oxygen, halogen, then phosphorus, sulfur, inka non-metals lo given. So majorly these things. Hydrogen is the most important one in fact. So these are the various things that we will be dealing with respect to non-metals. Okay. The reaction with ammonia. Ammonia has got the two cases: liquid ammonia and dry ammonia. Okay, so these are the chemical reactions that we will be studying ahead. So let's begin. So the first one, that is reaction with air. So with air, as already said, like air is a mixture of many gases. Out of those, nitrogen is occupying the highest most percentage, that is 78% of nitrogen. Then oxygen will be of only just 21%, and if you talk about the other gases, very fractional. Okay, so argon 0.9%, carbon dioxide 0.04%, and helium, if you talk about krypton, xenon, radon, the noble gas, very fractional. So the moment I am saying its percentages, meaning that these alkali metals mostly they have the chances to react with what? They have the chances to react with either nitrogen or to the maximum with oxygen. They cannot further react with this. So in our study we don't take these things into consideration. We will stick to nitrogen and oxygen. So first, reaction with nitrogen. Metals on reacting with nitrogen. Do you remember this? Metals on reacting with nitrogen, there is no reaction. Metals, that is sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, they do not react with this nitrogen. Okay, and except lithium. Lithium does react with nitrogen to form lithium nitride. Yeah, one more thing before I write the product of this one. See, in terms of inorganic chemistry, what you have, how you can develop the subject is very simple. Just anticipate what could be the products. Product ఏం అయి ఉండొచ్చు, అది కరెక్టా రాంగా తర్వాత సంగతి, కానీ యాంటిసిపేట్ చేయండి. ఫస్ట్ ట్రై టు anticipate or guess what could be the product and how to write the formula of the product. Okay, so in fact, the very basics I will be doing this, but straight away we have joined it, right? I know that you know the basics, so that's why I'm coming out to the S block elements, and I have started with group 1. Okay. So now, one more time I wanted to say is this: if you wanted to remember the reactions and the products and all, first assess or guess what could be the product. Whether it is correct or wrong, that is secondary. So right now, lithium plus nitrogen, if they both are reacting, what should be the product? So obviously it is sensible that except lithium iodide, meaning that will be reacting. Okay, remember this point from now on. So now lithium nitride, lithium will have what charge normally? +1. Nitrogen in the nitride, what is the charge normally? -3. So when you crisscross, what should be the formula? Li3, and obviously, so that's what lithium nitride is formed, which is similar to magnesium. Why is that lithium and is showing the reaction with nitrogen? Why not any other metal? Okay. Normally first group elements do not react with nitrogen, but lithium except is reacting with magnesium, like nitrogen. Why? Because I read the reason as due to, let me erase this. There is a property called as diagonal relationship. We'll talk about this in detail. Due to diagonal relationship. Just because of diagonal relationship, excuse me. Alright, so there was a disturbance again. Fine. So there was I was talking about, yeah. So due to diagonal relationship, because of this reason, what is diagonal relationship? So the name itself is giving the picture. For example, if you look to this, see, you can see the elements, that is lithium is in diagonal relationship with what? Magnesium. Okay. So the elements of the second period, remember this, elements of the second period. So this is my first period, hydrogen, helium. Second period, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine. So the elements of second period elements, they show similar properties with the next element of the next group. Something confusing? Very simple. Next element of the next group diagonally, meaning lithium, next element is beryllium, then magnesium. So lithium and magnesium, they both have similar properties. Beryllium shows similar properties with aluminium. Next group low. Okay, so beryllium will have similar properties with aluminium. Next group lo next element. Beryllium next group idi, the next element is kind element idi, diagonally related. Similarly, boron will be similar with silicon. Are you understanding? So these properties, that is similar properties in diagonal, is termed as diagonal relationship. We'll have a detailed study what properties are same, what properties are different. We'll study in lithium and magnesium. We'll relate and study them. As of now. Okay. So now, due to diagonal relationship, you have understood like lithium alone can react with nitrogen to form lithium nitride. Then the second one is with nitrogen is done. Now with oxygen. Does these metals react with oxygen? Yes, they do. Very much react with oxygen. Metal plus oxygen gives metal oxide. And this metal oxide is not like this metal oxide further react with oxygen and form metal superoxide, or in fact metal peroxide, then it forms superoxides. Okay, so I'll just read it for peroxides. We'll have reaction with oxygen again. So as if I wanted you to understand this point. Metal plus oxygen, again as said, anticipate. Guess what could be the product. For example, if I write a reaction with sodium, let's say sodium plus oxygen gives. Now sodium plus oxygen, sodium oxide. First sodium oxide. So what should be its formula? Sodium charge is +1, oxygen charge is -2. If you do not know the charges, learn it. So sodium replacement oxygen. So when you crisscross, what do you get? Na2O. So this is what my normal oxide. So sodium oxide will form Na2O. This on further treating with oxygen, it forms peroxide Na2O2. Sodium peroxide. And this sodium oxide on treating with water, in the presence of water, sodium oxide in the presence of water will form sodium hydroxide NaOH. Again, this also anticipate in the oxide, metal oxide with water, hydroxide. Simple, metal oxide with water, hydroxide formation. Now this hydroxide when further treated with carbon dioxide gas, even in the moisture, in the presence of moisture, the NaOH will absorb this carbon dioxide and form sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate. Further, it can still absorb and form sodium bicarbonate. We will see that those reactions also. As of now, I wanted you to understand this particular thing. Okay, so I hope things are clear. Metal plus oxygen gives metal oxide. In the presence of oxygen, further gives metal peroxide. Further gives superoxide. Now I am not interested about further things. I am interested about this thing. Metal oxide on treating with water will form metal hydroxide. And on treating with carbon dioxide, the metal hydroxide will turn out to be metal carbonates. If you have understood this, write the reactions with respect to potassium. K plus O2 gives what? And this will, when treated with, let's say X, when treated with further oxygen, will give what? Y, and X on treating with H2O will form Z. Z on treating with carbon dioxide will form Z star. Find out X, Y, Z, Z star. Very simple. Okay. So I hope you can do that. So moving to the further. That is reaction with water. In case if you are noting it down, just note down the question and then answer it. So I hope you have done it. So what is the X? X could be what? Let me write here only. Potassium oxide. It is K2O or KO2? It is K2O. First carbon oxide. Then X in the presence of water will form peroxide, K2O2. This is X, this is Y, and X on treating with water will form Z. So K2, that is oxide on treating with water will form KOH. So KOH. Z is what? KOH. And KOH on treating with carbon dioxide will form K2CO3. So this is our Z star. Okay, so I hope you have done it. Then, go to the next. Reaction with water. So, what do you say? Will these metals react with water? Yes, they do react with water. In fact, they are very reactive. Alkali metals are most reactive metals. Okay, so these metals, when they react with water, what will happen? Again, guess, before I write the products, guess. Metal plus water should form. Metal plus water should form. And here I have written the hint also. They decompose water to liberate hydrogen gas. So one of the products should be what? H2 gas is released and respective metal hydroxide is formed. Okay, so what exactly happened here is the metal will abstract the OH. The metal will abstract what? OH. Let me represent it. Suppose I have metal plus water, H2OH, right? So for simplicity I am writing it like this. So metal will abstract this OH and forms metal hydroxide MOH. And here we have this in the organic chemistry study that free radical is formed, or this hydrogen, two such hydrogen atoms will form hydrogen gas. Okay, so we are not interested about this, we are just about what product is formed, metal hydroxide. Okay, so same thing I have written it in the top. So metal on reacting with water will form MOH plus H2 and hydrogen gas. Now this reaction delta H, what is delta H? Delta H is enthalpy. Okay, so delta H is negative, meaning it is an exothermic process. The above reaction is an exothermic process. In the last class I have said that delta H is negative, meaning heat is released. Delta H is positive, meaning heat is absorbed. So in the hydration energy, in the hydration process, heat is released. So that's what we have used exoergic process. Erg is a unit of energy. Okay. So here we are talking about heat. So therm is a unit of heat. So exothermic reaction. The above reaction is a exothermic reaction. In fact, the interesting point is this. If you take out the sodium or potassium, okay. In fact, let me write the reaction. Lithium plus H2O will form LiOH plus hydrogen gas. Same with Na, it forms NaOH plus hydrogen gas, and potassium, rubidium, cesium on reacting with water, it form respective KOH or RbOH or CSOH plus hydrogen gas is liberated. Now the interesting point is this, that in these elements, if you talk about the first one, that is with lithium, this reaction is a slow reaction or slow process. It is a slow process. And with sodium, it is quick. And with potassium, rubidium and cesium, this reaction is vigorous. Meaning, these metals are easily reacting with water. Why water? Even the moisture is sufficient. In the atmosphere we have moisture. That moisture is also sufficient to put these metals on fire. In fact, why fire? Because see, especially with potassium, rubidium and cesium, these when react with water, it is an exothermic. Delta H is negative, so it is an exothermic reaction. The heat that is released will set this hydrogen on fire. The hydrogen gas that is separated, no? It will set the hydrogen on fire. So you can see the like if you take any metal like sodium, potassium, rubidium, just drop it in water. We have already studied in the very beginning classes that density of sodium, potassium with respect to water is lesser or higher, lesser. So when you drop these metals in water, will they sink down or float? They float, and not just they float, they chemically react with water and releases heat. That heat will burn this hydrogen gas into flames. Okay, so that's the reason they are stored in dash. In 8th, 9th, 10th onwards we have studied this. These are sodium and potassium. They are stored in, I hope you have answered, that is kerosene. Okay, because kerosene and water do not mix. They are immiscible liquids. Alright, fine. So now here itself let me tell you another point as a note. In the organic chemistry we study this. Suppose if I treat with alcohols, metals react and form like suppose I have let's say sodium, Na plus ROH, where R is an alkyl group. For simplicity, let me use in case of R as ethanol, C2H5OH. Okay. So what does it do? Again, say what it has what I have shown in case of water, Na plus H2O. It has abstracted this OH. Na has abstracted this OH. Same way, this Na will abstract this C2H5O, and it forms C2H5O minus Na plus. Sodium ethoxide ion or sodium ethoxide is formed, plus hydrogen gas is released automatically. In fact, this is used as it is preliminary test for alcohols. Preliminary test for alcohols. If some group of molecules are given, alcohol, aldehydes, ketones in the organic chemistry study, and they are asked to find which among these is alcohol. Very basic test, preliminary test is take the three compounds and react with water. In case of water, if react it with metals, okay. So the alcohol when reacts with metal, it forms respective metal alkoxide, metal alk ethyl here, ethoxide oxide. So this is just an information point. We'll study about this in detail in organic chemistry. That is not my topic. Alright, just an information. So that's all about reaction with water. Last time reaction with water, summing up, all the metals react with water, no doubt. And when they react with water, what do they form? Respective hydroxide. And that's why they are called as alkaline. They dissolve in water also, because they are alkaline in nature. They dissolve in water, okay, and that is NaOH, KOH and everything, they dissolves in water. So now they liberate hydrogen gas, and this reaction is what? Exothermic process, and that's why we have to be stored in this. And most importantly, lithium process reaction is what? It's a slow process. Sodium reaction is quick enough, and potassium rubidium is very much vigorous. It is so much vigorous that it can set flames on of this hydrogen atom. Okay, fine. So just take it down. Alright, so these are the reactions. So two main reactions we have discussed, that is reaction with air and reaction with water. Now next one is reaction with non-metals. So reaction with air is done, reaction with water is done, then reaction with non-metals. So in the non-metals we have various things again: oxygen, hydrogen, halogen, phosphorus, sulfur. So let's begin with hydrogen first. Okay. So reaction with hydrogen. So non-metals we have, as I said, hydrogen, oxygen, halogen, phosphorus, sulfur, ammonia will be later. So now first talking about this. Metals on reacting with hydrogen. Guess again. Metals on reacting with hydrogen. What it would have happened? Sodium charge or lithium charge, metals charge is +1, right? And hydrogen combines with metal and form metallic hydrides, NH. They are called as what? Metallic hydrides. And all these metallic hydrides, they are ionic in nature. They are what in nature? Ionic in nature. Meaning, if I say sodium chloride is ionic compound, meaning NaCl is an ionic compound, meaning how they exist actually is they exist as Na plus and Cl minus. This is how they exist. The actual way of writing NaCl should be like this, Na plus Cl minus. But for simplicity, we write it as NaCl. Okay. So now, when I am saying that it is metallic hydride is ionic hydride, meaning how they should exist? They should exist as N plus and H minus. N plus and H minus. So now, when I see this metallic hydride, on electrolysis of this metallic hydride, it releases hydrogen gas at anode. Most important point is this metallic hydride, it releases hydrogen gas. On electrolysis, it releases hydrogen gas at anode. See, at anode, always remember, at anode oxidation takes place. Oxidation takes place. Remember this. Oxidation takes place. Okay, oxidation takes place at anode. So here what we observe is normally hydrogen, just now I said NaH, for example Na plus H minus, right? So when I treat electrolysis of this one. I'm performing electrolysis. They just break down. Electrolysis is nothing but pass huge amounts of electric current and break the compound. When I break the compound, they just break down into ions. What are the ions I get? I get Na plus ion and I get H minus ions. So H minus is what charge? Negatively charged. So negatively charged fellow will be attracted towards the positive rod. Positive rod in the electrolysis. Just showing up here. We have two rods dipped in. One is connected to the negative terminal, one is connected to the positive terminal. Negative and positive. So anode, positively charged one is anode. So this H minus will be attracted towards anode. Towards anode. So that's why hydrogen gas will be released at anode. Okay, so remember this point. In electrochemistry, you will study about this point in detail again. So as of now, my point is this. On electrolysis of molten fused metal hydride, hydrogen gas is liberated at anode. Why? Because at anode, oxidation should take place. Then, order of stability. Now you think again. Order of stability. Let us say like all the elements have reacted with the hydrogen and they form respective metal hydrides. LiH, NaH, KH, RbH, CSH. In which case the bond is stronger. Again, think. I told you the very beginning days itself, some days ahead, that force of attraction will decide the strength of the bond. And force of attraction is depending upon the size. So out of these, which one is the smallest one? This fellow. So smaller fellow attracting hydrogen. Same hydrogen is attracted by bigger fellow, bigger size atom. Bigger size atom. So nuclear attractive force on hydrogen is lesser. Nuclear force of attraction on hydrogen is greater. So now which is more stable? So this bond is a stronger one. The bond that is in between this one is a stronger one. So stronger means more stable. So the order of stability is this. Meaning on electrolysis, which will readily lose hydrogen. On electrolysis, which will readily lose hydrogen, cesium hydride. Okay. So order of ionic character. So just now I said about the electrolysis. When I pass current, they break down into ions, electrolysis, or they break down into respective ionic species. So who is readily liberating the H minus ions? Cesium, and this fellow is strongly bound. So it cannot be ionized relatively as this fellow are. So order of ionic character. Then ekku ionic character untadi because LiH, NaH, KH, RbH, CSH. One more time, in terms of ionic character, idanna cheppochu leda the other day I have said lithium forms. That lithium majorly forms what compounds? Covalent compounds. Why? Because its polarizing power is very high. So this compound is mostly of covalent nature. When I am saying this is of more covalent nature, then dash ionic nature, least ionic nature, and this one is most ionic in nature. So order of ionic character, cesium hydride. Okay, take this down, and for today we shall stop. In the next class I will continue from the other topics.